guys, it's 2024. Happy New Year, and we're back with another video with Food with Chanel, yours truly. And we're back with a recipe that has been requested a couple of times because I did a kind of like eat with me, or what I cook for my nephews when they visit. And when they visit, I love to make them pancakes. And I don't know about you, if you're a 90s baby or if you're not, you've seen Matilda, the original, the first Matilda. Then you've seen that iconic scene where she's making the pancakes and they come out nice and fluffy, and we're making those today. Now, I have to reference Matilda because when I first watched that film as a kid, I wanted pancakes like that. Like, let me try and insert a picture, but come on, when you see those, you just think, that's the pancakes that me want. So I'm going to show you guys how I make them. The ingredients list will always be in the description down below. So let's get straight into it and make some fluffy pancakes. Okay, so here we have everything that you are going to need. Some caster sugar. This is optional. Personally, unpopular opinion, I don't like golden syrup. I like pancakes plain. If I'm having the pancakes that are the thin ones like crepes, then again just sugar I would just have on them. I'm not really a pancake person. I just like to cook for people. Baking powder there, flour, eggs. You'll need a whisk, a spatula. You're also going to need a wooden spoon, possibly. This is, okay, you see this pan here? This pan, if you don't have this pan, go and get one. This is not an ad. I just love this pan. Now, granted, I have used other pans, like when I go to my private chef clients and I've made pancakes for them, and I've not used this pan, but this one, it's just perfect for making pancakes. So if you don't have a Tefal pan, get one. I'm so silly. A key thing that I forgot to say about doing the pancake recipe, obviously, it's pancake day on the 13th of February. Now, if you're the type of person that will be doing pancakes for your breakfast, lunch or dinner, this one here, yeah, I know in England we have the thin like crepe type pancakes, but they're personally not my favourite. I like substance to my pancake, okay? So that's the pancakes that we will be making. This will be coming out earlier than pancake day so that you guys can indulge, practice, make them whenever, you know, there's no like specific rule that you have to only have them on pancake day. But when pancake day comes true, I want to see you lot sharing this recipe, tagging me, letting me know what you thought of it. And yeah, as I said, the ingredients list will always be in the description down below. I may or may not have said that already, whatever. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, guys. It's a new year, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's get straight into it and make some fluffy pancakes. Okay guys, so what's funny, I never, you know me, I never measure. If you're a new sub, then yeah, you'll get to learn this year that I very rarely measure. So I end up having to try and like, you know, estimate, or I start measuring so that you guys can obviously try my recipes. Every time I make this recipe, I do it from the top of my head, basically. I never kind of follow something. But today, I will be kind of like measuring out how much I'm going to use because I've got everything in like measuring stuff. And then you'll be able to follow along, okay? But cook with love, cook with vibes. The ancestors definitely tell me a lot of the time what I'm doing, so yeah. But I'm going to put about 2 to 3 cups of flour in here, and this is self-raising flour. I think in America it would be all-purpose flour, but I'm just going to sieve that in, and that's just to get out any lumps. Let's zoom you guys in there like so. I think I'm going to add a bit more flour than that. Okay, actually it is the whole thing. I did pour out about 300 grams. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of caster sugar. I'm not adding too much because I'm cooking them in the pan. I don't want them to burn. Alright, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then normally I would use medium-sized eggs, but I only have large, so we're just gonna go on with what we have, just to get the dry ingredients all mixed up there. And then, if I can remember, again, you guys are gonna get to learn. I do things differently all the time. I think I actually whisked the eggs and some milk separately and then added it in. But there's no, when I say there's no right or wrong, you know, you just begin to trial and error. I always say that. More accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tablespoons for now. And then we're just going to whisk that up. And what you want to do is kind of add gradually, but just keep mixing as you go, because you don't want too many lumps. So I'm just going to add half of it, mix it in, and I'm going to add the rest. I have 1 cup of milk. I've added in about half of it, and I'm just going to keep on whisking this until it comes together, but not all of it, because you don't want to do all of it and then it's too thin. A little bit more. I'm going to scrape this off again. Okay, now we're getting this moving. If you've got an electric whisk, you could use that, but I'm just kind of old school. I like to do everything by hand, especially if it's breakfast. You're not gonna get out a big whisk to do this. I'm gonna pour in some more. Not all of it again. I'm literally just going a bit at a time. And don't worry about it being too thick. That's the thing. You don't want it to get too thin and then you need to add in more flour, because that's just gonna throw off your mixture. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. You need a lot of elbow grease for this as well. Milk again, not all of it, literally just a little bit. Okay. And what the baking powder is going to help to do is create that like fluffy pancake that you want. You see that? Okay, but I'm actually going to add a bit more milk in again, because I just want the right consistency. You don't want it too thick like you're baking a cake, but you don't want it too thin like a thin pancake. Oh, and also what I didn't put in the things you're going to need is a ladle. A ladle to me is like the key part that basically makes the pancakes the same size, because obviously you're pouring them out in equal amounts. But you know, if you're fancy, you could have something like, I think on TikTok they've probably got like a batter measuring tool thing. But if you've just got a standard kitchen, then you know. Okay, and then I think I'm actually going to add a bit more. Because as I said, it's not the consistency of cake batter, but it's a bit thinner than that, where you can actually give it a mix. Let's zoom you in so you can get a nice little look. And then just whisk it, get all those lumps out. This is when you should be able to do that. And I'm just going to add, it's only a little bit left. Okay, and that's how it should be. So not too thick that it's slowly dropping off, but thick enough that it's like this. Okay, cool. Next step now. This is the pan that I would recommend if you're starting off with cooking, because it's very hard to burn anything, I feel, in this pan. Now, sometimes I add butter, sometimes I don't. On this occasion, I'm not gonna add any. No, or am I? Alright, let me add a bit. You don't have to. At first I thought you needed to, and then when I realised you didn't, I was like, oh, it's cool in just like a dry pan. But I'm gonna add some butter just to kind of get the pan started and hot. But I don't want the butter to burn, so I'm going to turn down the heat and just let it melt gradually. Now, your batter should kind of have these little bubbles there, because you just need to let it sit for a few minutes. Like, don't make it and then straight away go into it. Give it at least 5-10 minutes and then kind of start, you know, doing your thing with them. Get your ladle as well, because it will just make them come out, yeah, nice and even. Okay, I'll turn that down. Just gonna get that butter everywhere, and then I'm gonna turn it right down. So the pan's hot, but we're just going to keep it warm now. Okay, that's the key, because you need to let these rise whilst they're in the pan. So you've got your batter here. Get your ladle and dip it in. I kind of just do just a bit less, like that. Kind of scrape it off at the edge. Ooh, so you've not got too much excess. And then go straight into it and pour it down, but slowly. You don't need to rush this. It's so satisfying to watch, so you can just take your time and let it drip off, and then just kind of use your ladle to make it into a circle shape. And then there you go. Now normally you could fit 2 in here, but I just wanted to show you the one first, and then we're gonna get busy and start doing loads of them. See it there? These little bubbles will start to form. That's the activation of the fluffiness, okay, if you get what I mean. So again, just keep it on low. This is not enough. This is my second favourite pan. I like to put my pancakes in this pan once they're cooked to keep them warm. They don't burn, nothing. I just kind of turn on the pan, put it on low and leave it in there. That's not compulsory. That's just how I like to do it. I'm showing you guys exactly how I do my pancakes. So back to our little friend here. As I said, you should see bubbles forming, and you do not want to, as my grandma would say, don't trouble it. Just leave it. Okay, because it's on low, it's not going to burn or anything, but you just want, you'll know, and also I'm going to tell you, but yeah, you'll know when it's ready to be flipped. Okay, so as you can see even closer now, you can see the bubbles are forming, and it almost looks like it's got a layer of, I don't know, like it just looks coated well. Just, yeah, I can't really describe that part. What you can do gently is just kind of that, okay? And then slightly lift to see how it's looking. Now this is ready to flip. So it's been about 2 minutes on this low heat still. It's not any higher than that. So I'm just going to get this, flip it over, boom, and you're good. Now see, this is why I said you don't necessarily need the butter. It's kind of just there for taste and vibes, but as we cook more of them, the butter kind of helps like start off the process. So yeah, so that's your pancake, and it's going to keep on raising. I'm going to get you guys lower so you can see exactly how it's rising. And what I'm going to do as well is just move that one there and then pour in another one, and you lot will be able to see. But again, just going in with my ladle. And the reason why I like this Tefal pan as well is it's a good size, because obviously you don't want to be here all day trying to do pancakes, but it is a nice satisfying process. You don't want to rush it. And just make your nice sickle shape. Good way you can check is to just lift and put it back down. That still needs some time, but you almost think of it as like you're cooking a cake in a pan. So it's down, it's low, it's slow. The higher you have it, it's just going to cook it on the outside, not cook it on the inside, and it doesn't give it that time to get these bubbles here. So my recommendation is do as Matilda does on the movie. Music playing, having a good time in the kitchen, and just let your pancakes kind of do its thing. It's not a rushing process. It's a nice, satisfying process. Just look at that. All those bubbles will start to form. Can you see that one there? There. That's all a good sign. If you see the bubbles, that means you're doing something right. Again, if you can see now, so I've left you guys just running the whole time, so you should be able to see the growth. We've got some more bubbles here. I'm just going to check on this pancake. Yep, this one's got a nice look. I'm going to flip it so you guys can see the other side. Nice and golden. You don't want them to burn up. You want them to be nice and, you know, nice and fluffy and just golden. Flip it now. It should feel like that, like dry. It shouldn't feel still wet as you're about to flip. So what I'm going to do with this one, hold on, let me back you up. Let me back you up there. What I'm going to do with this one soon, I'm going to take it out, because when I put it to keep warm, it will, trust me, it nicely firms up and gets even more fluffy whilst you're keeping it warm. That's why I think that's the second trick. You don't finish cooking it in this pan. You get it in another pan and almost just let it steam. Gosh, this one's really fluffy. Yeah, you just let it steam in it. I don't know, it carries on rising. So if I show you how this one quickly looks, so you've got that on that side and then that on that side. And as I said, I'm going to put it in the pan here just to keep warm, and then it will continue to fluff up. You see how this one's doing. Need to get that flipped back over, but that one's getting real high. If I turn it, you'll see how high that one's gotten there. This one here is real fluffy. If you can see it. It's like really high there. But yeah, so we're just going to keep on doing this. You guys can enjoy the aesthetics, and then I'm going to plate them up and show you afterwards how it all looks. so I've put 3 pancakes into my pan at the back and I've put it on low. And then I've got my other pancake here. We're just going to keep the assembly line going with our pancakes. And as I said, add a teaspoon of vanilla. That's one thing that I forgot. It is optional, you don't have to add it, but it just makes them even more yummy. Or, ooh, there's a vanilla cream that I like to add on top of French toast and pancakes. And it's basically double cream or heavy cream whisked into whipped cream, sorry. Add like a teaspoon of caster sugar, not too much, and add some vanilla essence, a teaspoon of that. That on top of it, banging. And another tip, I may or may not have said it, basically that layer that I'm talking about, it should almost look like dried up but not flipped yet. So the layer over the pancake, it shouldn't look as wet. If I can bring you guys in close, this one, on this side it has it, but on that side it hasn't, so it still kind of needs it. I'm going to flip this one again. Yep. I flip mine a couple of times just to give it more chance to, yeah, to rise. This one to our other cooked ones to continue steaming. Yeah, perfect timing because that's brown. So look, empty bowl. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it 7 or 8? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 pancakes. So yeah, I would say, because I can't lie, 2 of these is quite filling. So I mean, if you want more than that, then I mean double the recipe, you know. But I would say that this would be good for about 2 to 3 people. And then what I did to try and be fancy, I cut 2 pieces of butter. So I'm going to rest these in the fridge. If you can see it here, it's just rising there, which is nice. So there are our pancakes. Here is the final one. I'm just going to put there, and then I'm going to put the lid on to keep them nice and warm. When I open them up, this is what happens. Nice and steamy. Lovely, look at that. Nice steamy pancakes. So I'm going to leave this like that, but I'm going to turn off the heat now. So the heat's off on all of them. And then we're going to get ready to assemble, take some pictures, and then we're going to taste it. Okay, now let's get our pancakes. To be honest, I'm quite a perfectionist, so I need for them to be in size order. So I'm hoping... Oh, just look at that. Just look at it. You see why I said that you could only really... 3 is pushing it. In my book anyway. I think 3 is pushing it. If you're trying to, you know... If you're trying to have this as a whole meal, then by all means, this will set you for the day. This will set you for the day. Okay, and then... Woo, these are hot. That one's got a little bit of a gap, but it's okay. It's okay. Then, oof, I've got 2 more. Wow. Now tell me, I told you that they're going to be fluffy and big, and so this is the one that we started doing first. They are kind of lean off. Let me, you know. But, oof, look at that. perfect. Talk to me. That. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So then we have our pancake stack. This is for the aesthetics of you guys. We're going to just drizzle this all over the sides. Like that. So I've got to make it look pretty, guys. One more. Okay. Whew, that looks, oh my gosh, I'm so happy with this. And then we're going to just put our block of butter on top, which is definitely going to slide off, but let's try and get it quickly. There you go. And there you have your American style fluffy pancakes. Let me just show you guys from above. Look at that. Delicious. So here are our pancakes. As I told you, I tried to do little aesthetics, but look at the wobble even. It's and you know that I've said it many times, I don't like, oh, the butter's falling. I don't do the whole syrup thing. I just like plain pancakes, but I did this for you guys. So just look at that nice fluffy. Look at that. So I have to do a little. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you guys down here and then I'm going to cut into it so you can see the middle and everything. But I'm so happy with these. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. You guys know that I love when something turns out great. Woo! Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cut into it so you guys can see. Oh my days. These are like, ooh. It's a very big stack. This is probably the biggest stack of pancakes that I've ever made. Let me see if I can cut it like a little slice and we can give it a try. Wait, let me just make sure I've got it all cut through. Oh, look at that. You see it? Look at that. The layers them. You see that nice, fluffy, spongy, perfecto. We've got our fluffy pancakes here. Look at that I'm so happy with this. As I told you, I keep reminding you, I don't do the syrup, so I'm taking one that's from the middle, so it doesn't actually have any there. But look at that. Yum. Wow. Can I just show you how spongy? I'm going to try and show you how spongy they are. But when I'm chewing it, it's just like, I can't really describe it, but they're very, see that? The air bubbles, nice and spongy. Thank you so much for watching this video. We came back better. Just look at that. Look at it. Follow me on all my socials, Chanell A. Wallace on TikTok, on Food with Chanell, on practically everything else. If you try this, take a picture, take a video, tag me. I want to see it, and drop a comment and let me know what you thought of this one. Remember, if you want a little bit more pizzazz, add the vanilla. You won't be disappointed. Without the vanilla, it's giving, but